What's good, everybody? I was just handling my business, posting on social media because we are everywhere. It is hour number 2, emanating out of BTT Studios. We dominate the stadium airwaves every single Thursday from 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern time. All of your biggest pro wrestling topics. We might talk a little sports as well over the course of the next 60 minutes. Now, I am the coach side of this. But there's a bro side, and he is busier than ever. Mr. Russo from russosbrand.com. Vinny Ruru, what's good, my friend?
Coach, I got to tell you a story because I made a fatal error on Monday.
Not you.
Yeah, because listen, you played the clip. We said Triple H was going to introduce John Cena in Boston. He did not disappoint. However, while he was staying in the ring for the entire promo, I'm watching this and I'm like, this literally is a rib now. Okay. So, Coach, I made a cardinal mistake. I tweeted out, we have to seriously ask ourselves the question now. Is Triple H the biggest egomaniac in the history of the business? I think that's a legitimate question. I was not kidding around. But, Coach, you can control who gets to answer. And I usually check only those that follow you.
Yes.
I did not check that. So everybody was allowed to answer.
Oh, no.
Coach, here's the one, Coach. Here's the one that I'm like, guys, please watch our show and get educated. People were trying to use as an argument, how many times did Vince McMahon share the ring with talent? I could not believe people were using this as an argument. I would say, okay, guys, first of all, Vince McMahon was a vital character on the show.
For years. For
years. This was blatantly John Cena's moment. John Cena's spotlight. Triple H is not a character on the show. And Coach, let's just you and I say it right now. Let's get it out there. He's going to introduce him at MSG, and he's going to introduce him in Washington, D.C. Coach, I wish there was an over and under that. Who's your buddy that has the wrestling on?
Raphael,
please, the over and under of Triple H introducing Cena. Coach, will clean up.
It would be as close to a lock as you could possibly have. For people who did not watch the show on Monday, we were on 3 hours right before Monday Night Raw. And we were talking about the fact that John Cena, and I'll give John Cena credit, he is a company guy. Because he went out there and he goes, listen. He goes, I only asked for one thing. I don't book the towns. I don't book the venues. I don't book this. I only wanted one last night in Boston. And the crowd bought it. They're like, hell yeah, we're here. But I still stand on the mountain or the business that it should have been his last night. You saw how red hot that crowd was.
Absolutely.
That should have been, right? They were as hot as they've ever been.
Absolutely.
Ever been. But Vince, not only did he share the ring, it was over 8 minutes. 8 minutes. I timed it before he introduced John Cena. And to me, and I know people go, oh, you guys are all hating on. No, we're telling you what he does. This is what he is doing. So just to kind of remind people how spot on we were, let's go back 3 days. And this is me and Vince live right before Monday Night Raw discussing how it would start as we found out when they announced that John Cena would kick off the show. Producer man, roll tape. Boston. Are you ready?
When does he spit the water? Before?
Well, that's with his entrance. He still has to have his entrance, but that's before they go on the air. Yeah, he's not going to get the entrance on the air to take away from Cena. He's not going to go that far.
You know Triple H is going to be right in the middle of that ring to open up the show and intro him. You know it. You know it.
1 hour later.
Time to play the game!
You always have to do this to me. Oh, my goodness.
Enjoying the show?
Coach, you know what you mean at the end of that? I swear to God, this is the only image I could think of the end of that. Bret Hart rolling his eyes at the Hall of Fame. That's what we need at the end of that clip.
Why do you keep doing this to me? Because that would have been even better. That clip started with just that. You saw how many edits there were in it because Mikey P and producer man just kept adding stuff to it. You can't make it up. Wait, I bet you, Vince, on my X, I had no less than 20 people that watched the show that then responded to the tweet and said, I am laughing like crazy. And so I felt good about that because it shouldn't be that serious. It's not a serious topic.
No.
But the fact that we called it spot on and they did it, I died laughing. I really did.
And there's no way he's passing up at MSG. No way. And then, of course, you got the last show. So there's no way he's not going to be out there center stage both shows.
Should we predict what's going to be? Because I think I know what's going to be in the promo when he introduces John Cena.
Can we say this, though, first, Coach? Coach, I usually love Cena's promos. I really do. Cena's great at his promos. Bro, there was no emotion in this. Like this came across to me as like this was a and we talked about his father introducing him, where I think we would have gotten emotion. But Coach, you're close with Cena. You work with him for many years. Mm-hmm. I did not feel any emotion in this promo. Could this have been his heart wasn't in it? What was your takeaway?
I think as much as he's a company guy, I've said this here. I've said it on Off the Ropes on Sirius XM Radio that certain things mean things to him. Boston means something to him. And Monday night was the night. Monday night was the night that the parent, that the friends, that the family, that they did nothing of that. And I think that once you watch the entire show, you realized, okay, so what you saw and what you felt was because it was not a special night for John. No, it was a last night for John. And when you have Triple H coming out talking about how great he is, we'll do anything for him. The Rock and Kelsey's, whatever John wants, John gets. Well, all he got was a promo, a match, and now he's Intercontinental Champion. So he's got 2 matches left. 1, 2, 3. 3 matches left. 3 appearances, and somehow he's got to lose during that time, and they've added that to the mix. So did you like the fact that they decided to make him a Grand Slam champion on his last night, and now we got to figure out how is he going to lose the title as well?
Again, listen, man, maybe being a Grand Slam champion means something to them. Again, I represent the casual fans. It means nothing to us. It's amazing to me, Coach, how they got the Brock match and the Dominic match completely, it should have been the other way around. Mm-hmm. It should have completely been the other way around. He should have beat Brock, and he should have lost to Dominic. And maybe they're going to come back around. Maybe Dominic will get it back. But still, bro, we've talked about this to death. The entire booking of this Cena's last year, man, if you had to grade this on a scale of A through F, I don't know how you don't give it an F. I honestly don't know. What was the bright spot that he turned heel for 15 minutes, Coach?
There are. I always have to watch what I say because I've gotten in a lot of fights recently about this because I'm around a lot of people in my personal life and professional that love to what I call glaze. They glaze over what's really going on because they want to buy into the narrative. And it's an easy narrative to go, man, they've killed it. Oh, he's got 8 different T-shirts. No, this has been awful. And I guarantee you in a year or two, when he steps away from the WWE and he realizes they did him 0 favors, I think people can be honest like we are, that it's been an absolute disaster. And anybody that says it hasn't been is either lying to themselves or they have a vested interest in what's going on with the WWE.
Yeah, and I've got to say this, man. After this run, if they ever want Cena to come back, they better back in the Brinks truck. Because if I'm John Cena and you want to bring me back after that, bro, you're paying at least $10 million for that.
I also thought about this, and this is just my diabolical side, my petty machete side, that we know that part of the reason, because we saw the story in Sports Illustrated or SI.com, that WWE was willing to do it, but that's why they put it in the promo that I don't book the arenas, I don't book the venues. They asked for more money. And Boston said, no, we're not going to give you a site fee. Because how many of those 20,000 people they had in the building flew in from outside of Boston? Maybe 1%.
Yeah.
So all those people live in Boston, which means they're not bringing extra money to the city, which means it didn't make sense to pay $10, $20 million for that one Monday night.
Right.
That played into it as well. I really do. They spent no extra money. They didn't bring in celebrities, athletes, nothing. Unless I missed an extra hour that wasn't on Netflix.
Yeah, Coach, remember I also said on Monday, I thought Dominic was a smokescreen. They got to do something bigger than this. It's got to be bigger than this. And it was exactly what everybody was reporting on. And, again, man, gosh, if somebody's saying, Vince, as a creative writer, you got Cena 3 more days, I promise you it's not going to be a promo, a match, shake hands in the back, and see you later with a whole other hour left in the show. I promise you, Coach, it's not going to be that.
I was shocked. I wanted to believe that at the 11th hour, they were going to do right by him. I really wanted to believe that. And there's a lot of fans out there, especially new ones, probably some that are watching right now going, wait a second. The crowd was hot. He won the Intercontinental Championship. He went out. He got to have the fireworks and all that kind of stuff. Everybody was a gorilla. That was staged, by the way. Whenever talent's standing at gorilla and they shoot it and you hear the Nat sound, they strategically put people there. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you why one person was there. I've already booked Survivor Series, and I'm going to book it in 5 minutes for everybody here on the show.
I can't wait.
But what I saw was so disheartening to me because I know what that building means to John Cena. And I will say that I enjoyed the match. It was a 3-segment match, too. You know that whole thing took 40 minutes, Vince?
Wow.
The promo,
Wow.
and Triple H was 20% of it.
Yeah. Coach, again, I asked myself the question because I try to put myself in his feet, in his shoes. So I really asked the question, does Triple H still believe he's a draw? Does Triple H still believe those people are buying those tickets, hoping and praying Triple H makes an appearance? Is Triple H convinced of that? Or again, is this Triple H trying to cement his position in the company? I can't believe Triple H thinks people are buying tickets, hoping and praying that he makes an appearance on the show. I can't believe that.
I have no issues if he made himself a character on the show. I would have no issues with that. But that's not what this is.
Right.
This is clearly trying to make yourself what Dana White already is for the same company that you're under the same umbrella. Because UFC has fighters come and go. But in WWE, it's different. Wrestlers have a much longer career because they can kind of control how they fight, when they fight, all that kind of stuff. They're not fighting just 2 or 3 times a year. So it's completely different.
Yeah.
But I think we're spot on. I think we are dead on about what his mentality is, what he's trying to do, what he wants to make himself into so that he becomes unfireable if it ever came to that. I really, really do.
Agreed.
All right, just getting started here on the Coach and Bro Show. On the other side, I've already booked Survivor Series, but I'm not the best writer in the business. He is. We get his feedback. Also, Chris Jericho. He said something this week on a podcast that maybe we should read more into it. We'll tell you what that is. And does War Games and Blood and Guts seem like a lot of the same thing? We'll talk about that coming up in about 30 minutes. It is the Coach and Bro Show. 2 hours of domination on Stadium and Bally Sports Live. Come on back. All right, you degenerates out there on our YouTube channel. We have our first super sticker and the first name today on the Wheel of Doom, which we'll do after the top of the hour. Zuber Talk TV says Cena doesn't need the IC title, but it's not a bad moment. One of his last appearances, he wasn't focused the entire show, not having the opening leading to main event, but the women did for War Games. It was a different mindset than the week before, Vince, when I like it when they go stars, lay the groundwork, main event. But that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
That's what we did and it worked. It's a working, but they didn't do that with Cena. It was like he was out of sight, out of mind after that.
Which is, again, as a writer, that's just incredible to me. It's like having, you got Tom Cruise. He's going to star in the movie, and you put him in the first 5 minutes of the movie. I don't understand the logic, Coach.
How could they also not, when you got a writing staff of 10 or 15 people, how they can't come up with 10 ideas of, hey, this is what we could do for Cena, or here's a promo. This is why I thought I correctly predicted that they would kick off the show with him, because the crowd would just be waiting for him all night. But Vince, they did nothing Boston-centric. They did nothing, this is your life. They didn't, sit down with Tom Rinaldi that's going to air, in 3 weeks. But to me, it was very lazy booking on what should have been the biggest night of the tour.
And, exactly. Coach, we saw, we don't have much time here, but we saw Rey Mysterio was there. We could have used Rey as a part of this. Whoa, maybe.
Whoa.
What?
Don't take away my flow.
Oh,
I
I'm
told
sorry.
you. I've already booked Survivor
I'm
Series.
not saying nothing then. I was just talking about Monday's show. We could have woven a beautiful storyline for the entire show.
Yes, we could have. And I didn't mean to cut you. I would never tell you to be quiet.
No, that's fine, man. No, that's cool. Because I'm excited to hear your booking.
Thank you. I'm excited for you to shoot it down. All right. We are coming back also, so we still have to talk about the booking of Survivor Series. Chris Jericho, Y2J, interesting comments. But also, my man, Vinny Ruru. He is making noise around the pro wrestling world. For those of you who don't know, we're going to remind you right now. We're back live in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Bro Show here on Stadium and Bally Sports Live. Now, we are putting our fingerprints on everything in the pro wrestling world. The show is growing. Everything is growing. But let me bring Vince on real quick because, Vince, we've had to kind of move our schedule a little bit, and absolutely happy to do it because you have a new venture. Can you tell me a little bit about it, and then I want to roll something for you?
Yeah, guys, real quick, I'm very excited, man. I'm bringing wrestling back, man. I'm bringing it back to the casuals. I've heard you loud and clear. I know what you want. You want your sports entertainment. You want to be edgy. You want to be different. I am now working with ICP and their wrestling company that's been around for 26 years, JCW. And every Thursday night, brand new show tonight on YouTube, 7 o'clock Eastern. You want exactly what Coach said, a beginning, a middle, and an end that goes throughout. You're going to get it, guys, but you have to watch it. You have to support it. So tonight at 7 o'clock, just go to JCW Lunacy on YouTube.
And if you guys are not familiar with it, well, let's help you out just a little bit.
JCW Lunacy. New episodes every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. For over 25 years, JCW has delivered the very best in pro wrestling entertainment, bringing fans deep storytelling drama, gut-busting comedy, and unbelievable in-ring action. From wild characters to unforgettable rivalries, JCW has built a legacy that spans generations of fans. Whether you've been watching since day one or you're brand new to the chaos, there's never been a better time to join the madness. See why JCW is the hottest promotion in independent wrestling today, where anything can happen, and usually does.
Take a look at this!
Don't miss a single moment. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube and catch up on past episodes right now.
God,
How cool is that?
that's a great spot. You know what I always love? I love the color they use, Coach. I love the color
Yeah.
they use throughout everything. It's so vibrant and it gets your attention and it's not dark and dreary. Coach, we just had an image on Lion-Tiger's Bears in Head with Al Snow. He brought up an image from Blood and Guts. A female with her face covered in blood. I'm sorry, guys. If you ask me, I much rather see what we saw than a woman just covered in blood. I'm sorry, Coach. Call me old fashioned.
No.
I can't stomach that stuff, man.
And it was the first 2 minutes of the match. It was the very first girl who walked in there. She had the blood, and we'll get into that. But 34 minutes, and the announcer said, "And now the match starts." I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" So that's going to come up in 20 minutes. But yeah, it was right away. It was right away. All right, so I want to help. We want to help WWE. So just like we booked Monday night, I want to give them like a couple of weeks. Actually, 4 days, because here's what I believe is going to happen, Vince, and then you tell me what you don't like about it, or if I'm spot on.
Well, what do you mean with the 4 days? Just explain to me. What do you mean?
Because I'm using this Monday,
okay,
as part of my booking.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Okay,
all right. So to get the IC title off of him, what did they throw into the promo when John Cena was in the ring with Dirty Dom? He said, "Out of respect for who? Your father, I'm going to allow you to walk away, blah, 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 so you can go." So there was the first little Easter egg. Then he beats him. They come back from commercial break. He's getting flowers from everybody. Who was the last person that was at Gorilla giving him his props?
Right.
Rey Mysterio. So Netflix came out yesterday, and they said, not WWE, Netflix said that John Cena will be wrestling this Monday at Madison Square Garden. So we know he's going to have a match. Last week, we didn't know that. So we know he's going to have a match. To me, you make it for the Intercontinental title. You somehow, and this is where your genius comes in, you make it Cena against Rey Mysterio. You have Rey Mysterio go over, which the crowd would be fine with, or you have Dom interfere to help his dad win, and then that sets up for Survivor Series one-on-one, Dom, Rey Mysterio. And do you know where Survivor Series is, Vince?
Yes. It's in their hometown, isn't it?
In their hometown of San Diego at Petco Park. It all makes sense if they do it that way, because now that gets the title off of Cena on Monday at Madison Square Garden to a legend, and a legend, Vince, that we haven't seen him with this entire year. Do you like that, or do you not like it?
I love it, Coach, and here's the spot. I love it. Here's the spot. Okay. Where Ray's down selling, Dominic comes in, screws Cena. Ray never sees it. So, Ray, covers Cena, gets the 1, 2, 3. Now, maybe right after the match, they play the replay. Now Ray realizes, I've won the Intercontinental title, but my son just screwed John Cena. That is a great, great story. I love it, Coach. If they do it the right way, it could really be good.
So doing it that way, then how does Ray respond? Is he conflicted with his emotions that he just beat a friend and a legend, but used lying, cheating, and steal to do it? Because I think we can add a layer. I know he's late in his career, but we can add a layer here of Rey Mysterio.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a million ways you can go, but to me, I always go with logic. And if Ray realizes he won that title because his son screwed John Cena, Ray would have an issue with his son.
Okay.
That to me is logical, but you could turn Ray heel. There's a million things you could do.
No doubt. It's gonna be interesting to see what they decide to do, because when you talk about heel and you talk about the way they did the rest of Raw, right now I feel like they're going through a phase where the fans really like to cheer for certain heels. And as much as Logan Paul is a heel, every time he walks out, he gets more over. He gets more over. He looks in better shape. We know he's amazing. To me, I don't know what the number is, Vince, but should they go to Logan Paul and say, I know we did the deal for the podcast, reportedly between 75 and $100 million, and say, listen, I know you're only booked for 15 days a year, but we need you here every week, 2 times a month, something, because when he's involved, it just, to me, it's a better segment.
I agree with that, Coach. I think it really comes down to what is Logan Paul's schedule. I'm sure Logan Paul's got a full. I mean, the dude makes a lot of money. He endorses a lot of brands. He's all over the place. I really think it comes down to how much time can he give the WWE. But he's a bona fide star. There's no question about that.
And when you start to look at the different people involved here and what the vision is going to look like, to me, Bronze, you could have Logan, you could have Brock potentially could join the vision. Do you think they're going to try and keep this vision going with Paul Heyman as I think they called him the Oracle one more time? I don't know what his name is right now, but does this keep going in your mind?
Man, Coach, again, if I am writing, I really believe you got 3 bona fide stars here. So what that means to me in my mind is 3 bona fide stars equal 3 segments. That's how I look at it. You put those 3 bona fide stars in a group, well, now you've got 1 segment. And here's the problem. We saw them beat the Bloodline into the ground. We saw. I am afraid that is going to happen because if there is a lack of creativity, that is what's going to happen, and then the group is not going to mean anything. I look at the guys as 3 bona fide stars. I would definitely treat them that way if it were me.
I wonder, because I always think back to Evolution. To me, that's the closest thing. And Triple H and Batista and Flair, they always wore 3-piece suits. Does it matter the presentation? Because these guys are not suit guys, except for Paul Heyman. Do you think it matters as a writer? If you were sitting down with them, would you say, guys, presentation matters, how you look matters, what you dress matters? Does it?
I would say give me some color. Like, just give me some color. Everybody's black. I remember we had that a little bit during because Austin was so over, everybody wanted to wear black trunks. And we said, no. You got to add some color. There was a time, Coach, where the ring attire was tied into the character. Do you guys remember that? Remember the Macho Man, Randy Savage? Remember the Ultimate Warrior? The ring attire, now they're cosplaying. And cosplay has nothing to do with who your character is. I would love to see more color. I would love to see the outfit. Right off the bat. Listen, Coach, Reed is a heel. They don't like Bronson Reed. They like Braun Breaker. Right there, turn Bronson Reed on Braun Breaker. Right there. Now you got a bona fide heel. Now you got a bona fide baby face. When you try to go against the grain with the crowd, Coach, you're cutting your own throat. When they're telling you loud and clear what they want, there comes a point where you got to give it to them.
So if they're barking like they are every time he walks out, you're saying you're forcing him to be a heel when clearly the crowd is saying we want him to be our top babyface, which he instantly would be in the company if they turned him, correct?
1,000%. Why are you going against the grain when that makes your job 5 times more difficult? Listen to them and go with what they want.
But then the vision would be dead. And it would feel like to me that they only made it because of Seth Rollins if they decide to kill the entire thing. Because that's what it would be, is Seth is gone, vision's dead. Instead of plug and play.
Yeah, Coach, I don't know what they were thinking. And again, speculation, I don't know, but this is where I really think Heyman's politics come in and how Heyman secures his job, just like Hunter secures his job. Reed and Braun Breaker were on the road to getting over. Both of them. Bronson Reed, he was tsunamiing everybody. That was starting to get over. They were barking. These guys were starting to get over. Here comes Heyman. Put them with me. And that's why I really believe it was made.
Okay. We'll have to wait and see. We're only halfway home. Coming up on the other side, 2 former WWE legends are in the news for different quotes. We're going to tell you what they are. Coach and Bro, Stadium, Bally Sports Live. All right, you degenerates out there. We continue on with our what is this? Freddie says poor character holding his belly laughing out loud. Okay, thank you, Freddie. We have another person, Roland Curtis, on the Wheel of Doom. He says, what about Triple H starting his piece with the GOAT talk and Boston trying what? Him? So Triple H speeds up to avoid pauses, almost as if Cena's backyard fans were telling Triple H that Austin is the real GOAT. That's something. He did do that, though. The crowd wanted to mess him up. They tried to mess him up.
Yeah.
They tried to mess him up. What did you make of the fact that he kept talking about the greatest of all time? And I'm like 8.5 minutes to get to. It was like the crowd was like, all right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, you talk about taking the wind out of the sails, man. Come on.
Also, MVP is in the news, talking about how he has no respect for Triple H. You're starting to see this more and more and more with talent that is leaving. And before, you never saw anybody, saying anything about Triple H. Why do you think now guys like MVP are willing to voice their opinion?
Because I think people are starting to see it. And I think now more people are starting to talk about it. So if I'm a talent, I'm not going to be the first one that says it. I think a lot of people are starting to feel the same way about Triple H.
I think they are too. And I think now, to me, it comes back to money, that all these billions of dollars, and nobody has said talent's going to get more, we're going to pay them more, in none of that. And eventually, if talent's not getting paid more and the company's bragging about it, it'd be like Patrick Mahomes making $20 million when the company signs the $20 billion deal.
Yep.
And to me, I think the wrestlers are starting to see, wait a second, we're the ones that they come to see. And they are making us heels with the ticket pricing and with the not allowing them to have bigger, better deals.
Yes. Yeah. No. And again, what does it all go back to? Union that will never happen.
Ever. We'll get to the other super stickers in break number 3. We are back live on Stadium in just 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is 32 past the hour if you're watching us live, 11:32, 8:32 in the West if you're just getting out of bed. We're here every single Monday on YouTube only, then on Thursday on Stadium. Vince, so interesting that Chris Jericho, who we have not heard from, have not seen him really on AEW programming at all for months. And a couple of weeks ago, Dave LaGreca on Busted Open asked Tony Khan, can I ask you about Chris Jericho? And Tony Khan, who's a genius at doing the deflecting answer, he goes, I love Chris Jericho. And he proceeds to tell how much he likes, but he didn't answer the question on what is the future of Chris Jericho. So he went on a podcast, I believe it was his own, and he talked about TNA and Bound for Glory, where they had almost 8,000 fans in attendance. And Vince, this is the first question I have for you. He basically said that what he saw was the second biggest wrestling organization out there right now, with no disrespect to the company that he is still making millions for. Did you see that as something interesting that he would say that about TNA?
I don't see it as interesting because it's Chris Jericho. And listen, we all know Jericho's contract is coming up. This is Chris Jericho playing his cards. That's exactly what this is. He is going to hedge his bets. He's going to play Tony Khan against the WWE, and rightfully so. Every wrestler's goal is to make as much money as possible. And Chris Jericho has been around the block 100 times. And when I see him making comments like that, that's exactly what he's doing. And good for him. And I would bet right now that he's going to win the hand.
Chris Jericho is one of the smartest wrestling business guys in the history of the business. And he reinvents himself at so many different times, so many different ways. But this is, I feel like we're at a point with him at 54 years of age that he's got to decide what he wants to be, Vince. Because we're looking at a 46-year-old world champion in CM Punk that they only roll out there every couple of weeks because he's 46. And you can't have 30 and 40-minute matches every single week, or, God forbid, they did house shows. So Jericho comes back. Does he come back as a full-time wrestler in your mind?
Gosh, man, Coach, if it were up to me, because Jericho is such a smart individual, he's been around the block, he's seen it all. What I would do is, Chris, you are going to come in an authority role of over both brands. You are going to be on both of the shows. And not only that, Chris, I'm going to involve you in the creative. I'm going to ask you, if this were a shoot, what would Chris Jericho be booking? That is what I would do. And I think instantly that would add to higher numbers for the WWE.
What do you mean by as a shoot? Explain that and dumb it down for somebody who doesn't understand.
As a wrestling fan, you're watching this show and you're watching this show develop. What would you book? What would you want to see? What angles would you want to create? I would give him that role and then creatively get him involved in that role.
Wow. All right. So now I'm just thinking in real time, and that's the beauty of what we do is sometimes you make me think, or vice versa. I think that'd be really, really smart, because to me, I would not bring him back as a full-time wrestler.
No,
I just think it'd be, and also it's really hard. No disrespect to anybody's body or whatever, but I think that Drew McIntyre brought up a great point, that if you're going to be a big-time star, you got to look like a big-time star. And that means being in shape, meaning if somebody's going to make millions, you got to look. And he's just not at a point where he's going to do that anymore. And that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. Yeah. But this would also allow him to still do his music. And I like what you said about over both brands, because the more we can bring everything into one umbrella and I get Jericho on both brands, I think that is instantly, to your point, going to up the ratings for both shows, not just one.
Coach, I want to give you an example. And again, guys, I'm really not using this as a plug, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. You know, I shortly am going to become an investor in JCW Wrestling. Mm-hmm. So I threw out the word commissioner. This isn't Batman. This isn't Commissioner Gordon. This is a television show. And who runs television shows? Showrunners. Yes. So I'm looking for a showrunner to run the show. Who do you think I hand select? I hand select Vampiro. Why? Because he's out of his mind. I don't know what he's going to book. And Coach, what did I do? I got with Vamp and I said, Vamp, if you're going to be the showrunner of this show, I want you to send me a list of matches that you would book.
You did that on the screen or just like behind the scenes?
No, behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
You tell me, what would this character book? Bro, do the same exact thing with Jericho. That is an improvement on that show tenfold.
I think he would be... I can't even believe I have to pull my Stephen A. Smith all the time. I call it doing a Stephen A. Smith. Do you know what that is? Do you know what Stephen A. Smith is? So Stephen A. Smith, obviously biggest star at ESPN, makes $1 gazillion. He does this to stay on everybody's good side. He goes, Vince Russo, love him. Absolutely love him. Great writer, great dude, been friends for a long time. However, what he wrote last week on the that's called pulling a Stephen A. is when I do that. Is that you have to validate everything you say. I feel like I have to do that. I'm not disrespecting anybody, but there is a way that Chris Jericho goes about it that Adam Pearce just does not. I like Nick Aldis. I think Nick Aldis is a really good GM type of character, but I think Jericho would be entertaining and have some authority as well.
Not only that, Coach, now you could take Nick Aldis and put him in a wrestling position. Do not tell me that company right now could not use a Nick Aldis. So now you've got two improvements off the bat. You got Jericho in that role. Now we're going to make Aldis a wrestler on the roster that could tremendously help that company.
For those people, because I'm not that familiar with him, I took a hiatus watching wrestling seriously from when I left in 08 to probably 13, I would guess. Probably a good 5 years. I was so burnt out. I don't know if you went through a phase like that or not.
Oh, yeah.
You might be going through it now. But to me, there's a lot of guys that I missed on. What makes Nick Aldis so good?
Oh my God. First of all, he looks great. He looks like $1 million. He can work. He's got personality. He's got character. He's got Mickey James sitting there as his wife. He's younger than a lot of the talent they got in main event spots. Oh my God, bro. He could add to that roster on an incredible level. I promise you, Nick Aldis does not want to be the GM. He'd rather be a wrestler on the roster.
You really think so?
Absolute 1,000%. 1,000%.
I didn't even think about it because I don't really know him now. I know a lot of guys personally, but just like you've never worked with Cena, I've never worked with Nick Aldis, or at least I don't remember ever working with him.
Yeah.
Wow. I always look at those positions as fun, and I think Jericho would have fun with it because anytime you can now the price tag might be an issue because we know he's an OG at AEW, so he's got to be making, let's say, a minimum of $3 million a year. Minimum, probably more like 4 or 5, because back when they started it, Tony Khan wanted to make sure that the Young Bucks, Jericho, Omega, all were getting top money as senior VPs. I don't think TKO is in the market to pay somebody $3, $4, $5 million a year to be a character on TV and not be a full-time wrestler. Do you?
Well, again, Coach, who's the key figure there? Triple H.
Yep.
How does Triple H really feel about Chris Jericho? If we continue to see numbers slide down, does Triple H realize that Jericho can help that, and he's got to worry about? I mean, he would be a big factor as to whether or not Chris Jericho went there.
I agree with that. I want to stop feeling like, and I don't think we're wrong on this either. I want to stop feeling like every decision is based off of personal feelings or money. And there's a lot of people, oh, Coach, you're an idiot. Every business is about. I get all of that. But when you're booking things like the other night, if you're not having fireworks or whatever, it should have been a John Cena blow it out. Spend all the money you need to. They clearly didn't do that. And I feel like right now, every time we talk about a big move or whatever, we're like, well, would they pay him, even 7 figures? Because I don't think Jericho would go there. I think that Tony Khan would re-sign him, even though what has he been doing for the last year?
Yeah, Tony Khan would re-sign him just to keep him from going to the WWE.
Right. And at 54, I would take that. I'd be like, you want to pay me $1.5 million not to go over there, and you're not going to use me? Sign me up, Vince.
Absolutely.
Sign me up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So 1 to 10, making 10 the highest by December 13th. Y2J is under WWE contract.
God, again, man, I'm just going to say because of the Triple H factor, 3.
You think Triple H doesn't want him there that much?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Ultimately, why? Why do you think he feels so strongly about that?
Because they never got along, and that baggage does not go away. There's some wrestlers do not forgive and forget. There's such a rare breed. It's like my Sicilian Italian late mother. You crossed my mother, you were dead to her. Wrestlers don't forget anything. Now Punk was the exception to the rule, but Coach, how long did that take?
A decade.
How exactly? So I would love to see it happen. I don't think the odds are that it will.
All right. We will find out, because I have a feeling that Jericho did not do that podcast interview by happenstance. He didn't say, hey, what are we talking about today? Oh, I'll talk about TNA. That wasn't by chance. All right, coming up on the other side, we were scheduled to do an interview last night. It fell through for a couple of different reasons, in my opinion. But we're going to tackle another superstar who also battled with life after the WWE. It's an issue. We want to educate you next. Coach and Bro right here, Stadium, Valley Sports Live. All right, we continue on here on our YouTube page. We've got a few more super stickers. Let's throw the one up about the mist. With the mist, but you walk into a shot. I don't even know what that. All right, producer man, let's go to the next one. We've got another one. There you go. Catman 580. Vince, you should bring Coach and Jerry into JCW. Recreate their infamous scene with the mist, but you walk into the shot like you did with that lady. You tell them cut, not good enough, and do a take two.
Coach, did you see they did the shot with Alexa and Charlotte and the Kabuki Warriors? Coach, this was a pre-tape. They missed the spit and did not do it over. They did not reshoot it. They missed the mist and did. I'm like, how is somebody not getting fired for that? Can you imagine if Vince would have sat back and watched that pre-tape? What would have happened to that person?
Well, they probably wouldn't have been on the plane ride home. I can tell you that.
Unbelievable, man. It's a pre-tape, guys.
Those details are amazing. And we got a bunch of super stickers. Don't forget, we'll stay on after the top of the hour to hit all those. But the Tony Khan one the other day was also, he did a promo, and they're like, all right, count me in. I'm like, count you in? Count you in? I was like, and it aired all over, millions of views.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm firing my social guy.
Yeah.
You gotta cut that off. I know how to edit that.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Oh my goodness. Count me in. Oh geez. Oh my goodness. Quickly, Hannibal Miles says conspiracy. Do you think Triple H took a pay increase since TKO took over while the wrestlers didn't get anything? I know this, guys, that they have to release names, Vince, every 3 months on who gets like the big bonuses. Triple H is not on that list. The last list, Nick Khan was on it. Dwayne Johnson was on it. Triple H was not on it. I found it very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Now, he still makes a lot of money. Don't feel sorry for Triple H financially. But when it comes to the big bonuses, he is not in line. The Rock is way above him financially at the company. Is that a factor?
Interesting. Yes.
What do we keep saying? What do we keep saying? We're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's Coach and Bro, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with us every single Thursday. 2 full hours coming out of our BTT studios here with Coach and Company and also Coach and Bro. If you miss any of our content, you can go to both of our YouTube pages and catch everything on demand. Vince, interesting interview done by Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was recently on and I believe it's out live everywhere now, wherever you get your podcast, on the Dale Earnhardt Jr. podcast. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. has kind of followed in his footsteps after he got out of the race car, and he's become a host on the show called Soapbox Derby. He's got his own podcast, things of that nature. So Stone Cold was asked about life after the WWE. And Vince, he said, among other things, that he found it difficult to cope with leaving the business at 38 years old, the amount of money he left on the table at the time, the camaraderie and the adrenaline of performing, which led to a period of drinking and, quote, stupid stuff. What do you make of Stone Cold at this point when I think he's 60 years old now? But coming out, because I had a couple of conversations with him at a couple of those anniversary shows, and he was even like questioning his legacy then. Does this surprise you with one of the 3 biggest stars in the business? History?
Nah, not really. I mean, it all makes sense to me because first of all, 38 years old, his career was cut way, way short. And with Austin, when Austin's thinking about his career being cut short, he's thinking about the money he's losing. Austin was all business. So everything he described there, I could definitely see him going through when his career was cut short. And you and I know, Coach, he's not gonna take a payday if it does not live up to his standards. You know that. So I'm not surprised by any of that.
Yeah, I was in the middle of it once myself with him because, it was an interesting time for people that are watching right now that don't know. Because good old JR, his favorite human being in wrestling ever is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And JR ran the talent relations department. And the company was making so much money from 99 to '02 that they would have these talent pools of money at every show. And JR could just, without rhyme or reason, I'm going to pay this guy this much, this guy this much. I rode with wrestlers for 3 years. I would hear the stories, Vince, and the amount of money that he would pay to Stone Cold and The Undertaker was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Not that they didn't deserve a high payday,
Yeah.
but when the other guys are on these shows that are making $500,000 for a house show, Stone Cold was getting top money, and he absolutely loved and thought he deserved every bit of it, which he probably did.
Yeah,
probably
and
did.
when you think about that, bro, you're talking about two guys that are irreplaceable, Coach. You cannot replace an Undertaker and an Austin. So you've got to keep them happy, man. I mean, that's the bottom line, as he would say.
3 or 4 different times, and I was scheduled to face him at a pay-per-view. And he felt like it was below him to have to even step in the ring with me, which we had done several times, but not in a match. So he didn't show up. He just didn't show up. Now, how much would I have made? I don't know. Probably for my end, probably $15,000 or $20,000 at least. He would have made far more than that because he was a much bigger star. But when he did that, I was really hurt. And we have no issues today. We're absolutely cool. But for him to not even think about me, but that's how he treated the business. You just said it. If he didn't think it was here, he wasn't going to do it.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Was the story there? What do you think, was this built correctly, and was the story there?
Correct. Yes, there was. And I see a lot of people, because it was one of those things the other day, on this day 20 years ago on social media. And of course the fans go, well, this is what the story was, that he was not going to go over because JR was going to get rehired if he did go over. And so I see all these, I'm like, we never even sat down, Vince, that day to decide what it was going to be, how we were going to pay it off. So for people to say, well, this is what happened, nobody knows, because I was in it and I don't know what happened.
Wow.
But the storyline was there that if he wins, then JR would be reinstated as the voice of Monday Night Raw. So then we had to go a different direction to get JR back in the seat, because, Vince fired JR 5 times in his career, just yanking him back and forth. And Stone Cold walked out, 2 or 3 times during his career.
Have you ever heard him address that, Coach, the night he walked out when he was supposed to face you? Have you ever heard him address that?
Never.
That would be
Never.
interesting. I would love to hear that. That would be
I would be too.
Yeah. I know he was, from everything I heard, I know he was real unhappy with creative. So who knows? Maybe they pitched him a finish that they didn't come to you with yet.
That's possible. That's possible. And I know it's me and Stone Cold go all the way back to the beginning. I've never told this story on the air, but when I got offered the job in 1999, Vince, they flew me out, and I had just been in Kansas City for 4 months. And the very first SmackDown was scheduled to be in Kansas City, but they couldn't sell any tickets because the last show was Owen Hart and him falling from the Raptors and dying literally 15 feet right in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I did all these shows, Good Morning America. So long story short, they bring Shawn Michaels, and we did a story for the first SmackDown. So the guy who was with Shawn Michaels loved me. And all right, we're looking for a new announcer. Flew me out to Connecticut. And Vince, I had like 2 hours to kill. Kevin Dunn hired me on the spot, or said, we want to hire you on the spot. How about you go over and work out until your car arrives? I walk in, Vince, there's 2 people in the gym. I'm the third. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Deborah.
Okay.
And at that time, there were a lot of rumors out there about Stone Cold and Deborah dating, but nobody could confirm it. Nobody had any proof. I walked in and I saw the proof. Yeah. And remember, this is right when cell phones are just becoming a thing. Yeah. You don't think I didn't call my buddies? Like, you don't believe what's in here. And then he asked me to spot him. He was on the bench press, and I was like, if I mess this up, I'm gonna hurt the cash cow, the golden goose.
Yeah.
But so he was like one of the first 2 superstars I ever met.
That's awesome.
When I got hired. Yeah, but he was great.
Cool. Yeah.
And he did. I think they got married for a while. Or they were dating for a while. I don't know if they ever got married, but
they got married and divorced. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's probably what he was talking about in this interview about just for several years, and we all struggle with it when you have a lifestyle. I struggled with it when I went to ESPN. That I woke up with nightmares for 6 months because I thought I had missed a flight,
Yeah.
and Vince would fire people for not getting on your plane. Did you go through that at all when you stopped traveling a lot? The nightmares.
Yeah, not really, not really. But it was I had a period, when my WCW run like ended in 3 months. I went through a real hard period. But again, like I'm still in my prime at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Years later. But yeah, I that's why I totally get it.
Yeah, I do too. And I want everybody that's watching right now to understand this is the most unique business maybe in all of entertainment.
Yeah.
And when every single thing you do is out on the road. And back then it was 4 or 5 days a week on the road. So you're only home for 2.5 days. Like I didn't have time to stop, but I loved it, Vince. The first
Yeah.
5 years, I'm in
Yeah.
my early 20s.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better. When you get into your 40s, 50s, and 60s,
Yeah.
now it's not so much fun. All right, real quick, we only got about a minute left. What can we look forward to tonight on JCW?
Yeah, Coach, I want to really, I appreciate you putting it over and playing that clip and everything else. I want to thank you very much. And again, guys, I hear it all the time. You want what you used to get. Here's your opportunity to support it. We got a new show tonight, 7 o'clock. Just go to YouTube. JCW Lunacy, 7 o'clock. I'll be in the chat room. You could talk to me. At least check it out, man.
All right, check it out. I'll be checking it out right before we go live with our premium pop-up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you get all of us all day long. In the meantime, do not forget, those of you watching on YouTube, stick around. We'll do all of the usuals. And also, we've got the Wheel of Doom. And we got it with Triple H and John Cena. They did not disappoint. New Intercontinental Champion. We'll be back on Monday, YouTube only at 5 p.m. Eastern time. But in the meantime, producer man, you know what time it is. I need that one shot. It's time for all of you to go out into the world. Be kind to one another. Be nice to each other. And remember, the business of wrestling, it should be fun. So I encourage you to enjoy the shows and enjoy us. And hopefully we made you a little bit smarter today. That's going to do it for now. For my man, Vince Russo from russosbrand.com. For Double D, our intern. For Mikey P. And producer man, I am the coach. We'll see you next week right here, 11 a.m. Eastern time, only on Stadium and Bally Sports Live. Until then, everybody travel safe, be safe, and we'll see you next time. Take care. All right, you degenerates that continue to watch on our YouTube channel. We got a bunch of super stickers, Vince, we got to go through here.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Here we go. Let's go to Robert Rose. You are on the Wheel of Doom. He goes, I agree with Russo. Cena's father should have opened the show, but what else should have happened was Brock should have interrupted and told him, party over, Grandpa, F5 him so Cena could get his win at Survivor Series. I don't know if he would have taken that, but
yeah,
that would have been something.
Yeah, and again, Coach, do we really know what's going on with Brock behind the scenes? He came in, Cena, we saw one more appearance, then he's disappeared. So,
but he was in the WrestleMania commercial.
I don't know.
I'm confused. I'm confused. We still have 8 people to still be announced in the tournament. Freddie says, has anyone mentioned Jeff Hardy entering the tournament? They're in that weird spot too, Vince, that they're technically TNA talent, but they wrestled on NXT. They're kind of putting them all over the place right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Jeff Hardy in there. I would try to get as much star power possible as I could get in that tournament. I wouldn't be surprised.
1,000%. Because right now, I mean, who's the biggest star? We've got so Sheamus and Rusev won, so they're moving on to the final 8. We've got LA Knight against a mystery opponent. We've got Solo, I think, versus a mystery opponent. So there's still 2 mystery opponents out there coming up this Monday. So it's got to be somebody big at Madison Square Garden, Vince. It has to be, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
If they come out with somebody less than like a B player, that crowd will boo them out of the building, and I will feel bad for whoever that is.
Yeah, Well, I could see it being a Joe Henry. I mean, we saw Joe Henry at WrestleMania, didn't we?
Yeah, well, Royal Rumble too.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble, he had that spot. So we'll see. They've kind of backed themselves into a corner with the mystery opponents.
Yeah.
They really, really have.
Yeah.
M. Heaton says, hello, guys. James Romero said recently that the King of Pops, I love when you guys write that because that means you're listening to the show, stole the game moniker from Owen Hart. Romero said Russo could confirm this. Is that true?
Stole the game moniker.
So-
No. Yeah, that's not true. I wrote the game in a promo. That is 1,000% fact. I wrote the game for Triple H in a promo that was meant for him to call himself the game going forward.
So you were behind that.
I wrote, yeah. The line basically was, I'm not a player in the game. I am the game. That's what he said, and that's what started the game.
That's so brilliant.
Yeah.
That is so brilliant. It really is. All kidding aside, I am the game. Oh my God, that is so strong, so arrogant, so confident. So, oh God, that's really good, Vince. Freddie, what do you guys think of Judgment Day beating up Ray and Dom, saving him for a baby face turn? I think it'd be wasted, to be honest. To me, the Judgment Day is dead. Right now. They're Dom doesn't need them anymore. Rhea's gone. Damian Priest is gone. Is Finn Balor? Is he the guy that I'm supposed to care about with the Judgment Day?
Yeah, I just think they've been dead for a while. I think they were dead when Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest left. I thought it was over then.
I agree. You guys work. Let's go to Brian K. You guys work for Vince. At the same time, August to October 1999. Did you meet backstage? LOL. Do you remember? Plus, Vince tell Juggalos they need gym work. So you guys got to understand. So I did start in August of 99, and you left in October of 99, Vince?
Yes.
All right. So I was only there for shows. I was not allowed on TV until I was done in Kansas City on the evening news. So when I came in, Vince was working on the show. We never met.
We
never met, and we were there for 2 months together.
You are so wrong, Coach.
We met?
Absolutely, 1,000%. I was introduced to you. 1,000%.
I'm not lying on purpose.
No, I know.
We
forget that. Like, bro, when I talk to Ed Ferrara, he tells me things, and I'm like, "Are you crazy?" No, we definitely met. I was introduced to you, Coach, without a shadow of a doubt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So either I'm forgettable or you're forgettable.
Yeah.
I don't know which. I literally, I was doing a sit down with DDP maybe 6-8 months ago, and Cody Rhodes just happened to be coming by his house.
Yeah.
So he sits down in the live interview, which was amazing in itself. And he was like, "Hey, Coach, remember when we did that one pre-tape thing?" And I literally said to him, "We've never been on TV together. We've never worked together. Somebody sent me a clip, Vince, of me, Cody, and Vince. And I didn't remember. What does that say about my mind?"
Bro, Mickey James said this to me once and totally caught me by surprise. Bro, we started Mickey James at TNA. That's where she really, really started. And while we started her, she took a extra job at the WWE. So then she came back to she tells me of a hellacious promo I cut on a young Mickey James. And Coach, I don't remember. I apologize through the wires because I love Mickey. I don't remember that at all.
Isn't that crazy that it doesn't even ring a bell? Doesn't even ring a bell.
Yeah,
that is nuts. That is nuts. Let's go to Brother James, 888. Do you believe WWE will ever get better with Triple H in charge?
No. He knows what he knows. I mean, that's him. Guys, if you have a Major League Baseball player who bats 250 for 5 years, he's going to bat 250. No.
It's a very straightforward answer. And here's the difference between your answer and what they do is I think they actively try to ignore what's really going on.
Absolutely.
And Triple H Somebody said to me, I made a comment about Triple H should go to TKO and educate them on what the business really is, the fans and all that. Because Mark Shapiro came out and said another thing about Vince making mistakes and family friendly this, family friendly that.
Yep.
And they're like, Coach, he would never. They're not even on the same level. They're not even. Why would he do that? And I'm like, because he is in charge. He is the guy. I don't care about Vince, head of creative. He is the head of, with all due respect to Nick Khan, everybody looks at Triple H as the head. And you can't tell me that a lot of these things that everybody and their mother knows is wrong, Vince, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
You
Coach,
can't tell me that.
I'm going to ask you a real simple question.
Okay.
If you were running the WWE, would you put Triple H? You have one of two choices. He's going to be the head of creative, or he's going to be in the Pat Patterson spot. Where would you put Triple H?
Oh, you mean as in giving his opinion on the show to somebody?
No, Pat Patterson laying out the matches. He's going to be the guy, the agent helping lay out. I would put him in that Patterson role without a shadow of a doubt.
He's great at putting matches together.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. I don't think he's great at creative, and I'm not saying that. That's not a personal opinion. We're looking at numbers.
I also think that this is becoming an issue because I saw him, a couple weeks ago. He missed Raw to do a big podcast taping, the Kill Bill or whatever it's called. They then did a whole video of all the play. He had been at like a TED Talk and everything that a CEO does is what he did for like 3 days. And I'm wondering if because he is chasing all of these things down, and I'll be honest, if I was in that role, I'd probably want a lot of the shine too. But what I would want is my legacy to be, how did I leave it when I left? And not, did I make this about me? I'm wondering if maybe he's too busy now to be creative enough. Because, sitting in those limos and sitting on the jet, you're not there scrambling. You're taking a nap. You're exhausted. You're tired. And that's the only time you have a chance to sleep. So to me, I think he's just too busy.
I agree 1,000%. It is a full-time job plus, and you cannot be doing anything else, Coach.
You hear all the rumors, and we hate dirt sheets, and I don't buy into dirt sheets whatsoever. Once in a while, they'll get stuff and they'll throw it against the wall, and it's kind of how Meltzer does his thing. Is I'll come up with 10 things, and if one sticks, that's what I'm gonna go with. The other day, his partner's like, I had so many people call me from AEW. No, you didn't. Stop. But the point is that for a Triple H to be buying into all of this, Vince, and the dirt sheets to say certain things, how does he have time to watch all this stuff like our show and comment on it? And then I think people tease Tony about booking for the fans. I think Triple H does the same thing, if not more.
There's no question. Like I said, I mean, I was told from the inside, it was his decision to put who did I just bring up from TNA? Joe Henry.
Oh, Joe Henry.
That was 1,000% Triple H's decision. 1,000%. Why? Because the IWC was going to pop for it.
The more that you say that, the more I think you're spot on. Is that right now when they're thinking of big moments, they're thinking of the pop. Yeah. I think part of the reason that he put himself out there, and can I tell you what I think he's going to put into his promo on Monday? I'll bet you a dime to a dollar that he brings up his return when he came back from his quad injury, which was one of the most amazing moments of all time. I'll give him those flowers. And if he comes out and he introduces John Cena again, this building, some of the great moments I can remember when I came.
Wait, let producer man write this timestamp because he's going to have to cut this early Monday. Producer man, you're going to need this clip at about 9 o'clock on Monday.
We're getting the Bret Hart eye roll. All right, Bret.
Yes. Tremendous.
It's gonna happen.
Yes,
Vince.
it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, I don't know. I hate always bringing up Triple H, but he just keeps giving us content.
I agree with you. Stop asking for it, and we'll stop talking about it.
Man. All right, all the super stickers are done. Producer man, I believe.
I think that it's okay. It's 10 and over, but there's another. I think we got another question though. That's a $5 one. I think, Coach.
Okay. The other day, by the way, somebody on Twitter, and I didn't get a chance to go back, and they're probably watching live. They said, "Coach, you didn't read my super sticker. If it has to be $5 or more, and if we didn't, and it was $5 or more, I apologize. But the other ones we still show on the show. We just don't have time to do all of them.
Right.
So whoever you were, and now there's 3 more that comes through because you guys are amazing. Let's go to A Wrestling Historian quickly. John Cena had a retirement tour wish list of facing 10 opponents. WWE Creative only booked him against half of them. He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. We've seen Logan Paul, Brock Lesnar, which was a joke, Cody Rhodes,
AJ
Styles in Puerto Rico, in Australia, and Dom last week. So those are 5 matches that he's had. I'm sure I missed one, but that was the whole thing. Let him wrestle who he wanted to wrestle against.
Yeah.
And but with storylines, to your point, don't just throw him out there, something that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A wrestling historian. Let's throw him on the Wheel of Doom because he gave $5. Mr. Coachman, what was your experience working with Chris Kresge? He doesn't get talked about enough. Thank you. Chris Kresge was a pretty good writer as far as I think he's had 2 or 3 best-selling books. And Vince, he came in after you and didn't last very long. He was not cut out for the wrestling business.
Yeah, I heard. I from what I've heard about Chris, I heard he was really, really, really good. Though I didn't know Chris. I never talked to Chris, but I heard he was really good.
He was, which is why he left. That's why he left. It's anybody that has an inkling. It's why part of the reason you left, an inkling of talent like these guys did. And then you're asked to work 7 days a week and do an 8-hour conference call on Saturdays. It's just insanity. It was insanity.
Yeah, you're gonna get burnt. You're gonna get burnt out. I mean, there's no question about it. You're gonna get burnt out.
I still don't. Well, I shouldn't say I don't understand, but when young kids come out, and they go, "Man, I want to write for the WWE." They have no clue. They have no clue what it's like. They have no clue what it's like.
Yep.
Last one, Hitesh. You got to put Dom over Cena at Survivor Series. Dom as a young star. He gets the personality. You can have Cena win his last match against Edge. At some point, Cena's got to lose the title. Where do you think that happens? It can't be his last night, though, can it?
So what do we, Coach? Tell me what we have left with Cena. What do we have left?
Three. So he's guaranteed to. He's going to wrestle
this
Garden. Monday at the
Garden.
He's scheduled to be at Survivor Series,
right?
And then Saturday night's main event, December 13th,
in Washington D.C.
Correct.
Where he's got to go over.
Has to. Even though everybody's telling me, no, Coach, that's not how you leave the business. I'm like, yeah, as a champion. But if he's not a champion, why can't he win his last match?
Yeah.
He's not Goldberg.
Yeah. We'll see.
I don't know.
I don't think they know. Coach, I'll be honest. I don't think they know. At this point, I don't think they know.
So?
I don't think so. No.
I can't argue with you. You have been so spot on with so many of these takes. I had a dream the other night. I have visions. I don't talk about them. I have visions where I see stuff that then becomes a reality. I would love for them to walk out at the beginning of the year and just say, we messed up. 2025, we messed up. And we're going to correct it by doing this, and this. That would be amazing.
Remember they did that when the McMahon family went out there. Remember that? That was just a couple of years ago. That was it. No, we're going to now book it for you. Remember they did that whole thing?
Yes.
Bro, there's nothing better than saying I effed up. It's cleansing. People respect it. Now you could start anew. I don't know why that is so hard for people to say, Coach.
Especially with this company and these guys.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
Last one, Geo23. Coach Vince, you guys are awesome. Keep it up. Hope to meet you guys someday. Also, I want to attempt to win some merch. Well, Geo, it's got to be $10 or more in order to get onto the Wheel of Doom, which we're going to do right here, right now. So, Vince, for those of you new, and I see the numbers, it's growing every day. We do something. If you have a $10 super sticker or more, you get a chance to go on the Wheel of Doom and win a free Mamby Pamby t-shirt. There's a picture from one of our winners right there. Looks great. Looks absolutely great. We have a couple of other merch items coming out very soon. But right now, it's Mamby-Pamby for the next week or two. Look at all those names, Vince.
That's
Are
a
you
lot.
kidding me?
That is a lot.
That's
Yeah.
a record.
Yeah.
All right, Vince, this is your job. The floor is yours.
Here we go. Producer man, spin the wheel.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh!
I don't know.
Goes.
That's not a jump ball, coach.
No, it looks pretty clear to me.
Ooh.
All right, Robert, and you got to be watching live. There is the email. Email producer man. Give him his information. He'll go back and forth with you, and we'll get that sent out to you pronto. And as you can see, we'll throw a picture up there. We want to see our merch out there into the world. All right, Vince, we got to get the hell out of here. I got to get ready for Off the Ropes.
I got to say one thing in closing real quick.
Please.
I'm very disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed in you.
What did I do?
I actually today matched my shirt with my glasses, and you said no sold, didn't put it over, didn't call me a fashion plate like Freddie Blassie. Nothing. And a lot of thought went into this. Coach.
Yeah, I can see it. It's at least 10 or 15 seconds. So you don't realize I'm red-green colorblind. So
no way. Aha.
On my kids. On
wow.
my kids. I'm the worst golfing partner you could ever have because I can't see the ball. And right now, your shirt looks tan to me.
Wow. Okay.
So,
all right.
yeah.
Very nice. Okay.
So that's my excuse.
Producer man, I did it for you then. Producer man, I did the matching green for producer
Well,
man.
you look great. You look great.
So do you, coach. So do
now,
you.
if we get that Just for Men endorsement deal,
Yes,
you will be coloring at least your beard, even though I know you're very much against it. But I'm working on it right now for the both of us.
If we get a deal, I'll use it.
Oh my God, producer man, he just put it on a silver platter for us. Let's go.
I'll do
Let's
it.
go.
I'll do it.
All right, Vince, another great show by you.
Thank you, coach.
Looking forward to the JCW tonight.
7:00 tonight. Yep.
7:00 on YouTube. I can't wait. It's going to be like a year or 2 years from now. We're going to be right here on the show. You'll be like, Coach, got to make an announcement. We just signed a TV deal. I know it's going to happen.
I hope.
Happen.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen. All right. That's going to do it for now, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us for 2 straight hours on Stadium, on YouTube, on socials. You guys, if you see the numbers of the show, so many of you that are new. And we thank you for coming here, for trusting us, for being smarter, educate, entertain. And we have a great time. And we do it all for you guys. So that's going to do it for now. For Vinny Ruru, for Producer Man, for Double D, for Mikey P, I am the coach. We'll see you next time right here on the Coach and Bro Show.